And again, the Germans had UFOs back in World War II. UFOs are time travel. If they mechanized time travel, they could fit back, they could go forward, they could set up new science wherever they wanted to. They could go back in history and set up science that would, just outstand you back when we were cavemen. They would be able to have that kind of time and set up a laboratory and just build from there. But, who, I don't know what controls all these things. I don't know who would put them to, all right, we're going to do this project. What's the project? Well, let's take over the world. I don't think most people want to do those kind of things. You have to be kind of sinister. You have to have a fascist mind or something of that nature to want to do that. So anyhow, as you would try to do this maybe, and it's like, okay, people like to be on the winning side a lot of times, it's one thing. But then all of a sudden, when you realize that the winning side might not be the good guys, then you run into a wall, and things start getting taken down on you now. Can you control all those people around you or whatever? Very difficult. The only way you start controlling people around you is by being nice to them and being real to them and truthful, and then everybody's on the same page and everybody protects that wall. But until you build a wall of that of virtue, that wall can be taken down at any time. And the mechanism of it is, the teachings of the Bible, per se. I think it's just what it is. So anyhow, again, as we've seen the history of the world, you have powers that come up and they take over and they control and they dominate for a while, and then all of a sudden they vanish, and then another one, and they come up, they control, and they vanish. Again, it's that same cycle. Again, we don't follow the gospel laws of God, the laws of the universe, of doing everything every day for everybody and not trying to bully ourselves to control everybody and to take control of their mind instead of teaching their mind to be the best that they can be. Then you run into the problems of this negativity, this destruction, this satanic operations. And again, just part of what it takes for us to try to make our ability of our mind so that we can't be taken over. As I say, why aren't, and you and I have been touched with these frequencies, yet they haven't taken control of us, but we've seen them manipulate our children. Mm-hmm. And you're telling me now that your children are acting much better.
Yeah.
Have they all of a sudden built themselves above the level of them being mind controlled now or something? Is their heart all
well, no, what I think is that the frequency or whatever they're using is down right now, and they're using it for something else. Because, see, right now, as we speak, I was looking into the stuff that Woolsey of the CIA was talking about with these EMP waves that they're hitting across the United States with. They're claiming it's coming from the sun, but I would imagine that it's something else going on, because I don't think that what we're looking at is sun-based. I think what they're doing is they're creating some type of pulse weapon. And what I think they're doing right now is they're aiming it towards the United States to control a lot of people. I don't know what to say about it, but what I saw and these are real documents. This isn't a situation of just making up stuff. DARPA formed in with HARP. HARP is now a part of DARPA. And they were taking these new levels of these waves from what I saw when they came up with the scenario of so-called sunspots. And they're supposed to be using this for whatever purpose. But what I was reading, that it was going to affect our water. It was going to affect our ability to communicate. And the last couple of weeks, I've been having a huge amount of my problems communicating. So is it a possibility that these high levels of frequency sound waves they're using are making people crazy? What do you think on that? John, are you there?
I have mixed emotions on what they're doing. It's like the weather control. I know, this might be off topic a little bit, but it's not. It makes a very good point. As I know that Michael Faraday said that we, if bipolar sunspot activity, have terrific carbonization of the atmosphere, terrific energy, terrific green laser, like it make us have more wars and more suicides. And I see them doing the weather control where they can control it better, but they control it negatively on us. But it's not as negative as it could be if they didn't do nothing. So who's steering the boat? Whose side steering the boat? Who's? I don't have an answer for you because man, we're on an ocean front that's just crazy right now. And why would we're God's people? Why would God allow all these extortions of murdering each other and our families and violating our souls? It doesn't make any sense. How does that make us grow?
It's not meant to make us grow. They're doing their own agenda. Caller from 480 area code, are you still there? And I was wondering what your opinion is on this thing with the mind control. Now, they said, too, that they found that he was taking psychotropic drugs from the military, and they also said that he was taking drugs, this young man. What do you think on this? Do you think they're using heart frequency? Caller from 480 area code?
Yes, it's Isatu. That's my name. Absolutely. I mean, that's always a possibility. I don't know. The way I think is, was he the target or was somebody else the target? I don't know. Everything is just so iffy right now with this, and then what happened with Christopher Dorner, and then the other man. I know this might seem a little off subject to you, but in my mind, it's thinking it's on the same thing with this Ohio serial killer.
Wait. Oh, I was in the hospital. Ohio serial killer. I missed that one. What happened?
Well, the one that, not serial killer. He was a serial kidnapper, and he had those young women up in the house.
Okay.
And then he comes up dead, and then the report comes out recently that that's suspicious about the report, and there's some things that's missing. And, his house was destroyed, which I've never seen a house be destroyed like that before because of the case. So I'm just like, well, is something trying to be covered up with all of this action? Like John was saying with a black ops operation or, a false flag. There's just so many things going on that deal with our officials and information. And I definitely believe in the heart mind control aspect of it all, trying to destroy our frequencies so that we cannot be unified. But there's just a lot going on right now. And at certain points for me, it's almost like a sensory overload, like, what's going to happen next type of deal,
Well, do you feel... go ahead, John.
That was a good statement about frequency overload. I myself, it's like I'm getting, I want to say depressed and tired, and it's kind of want to give up because I'm overloaded. Sensory overload, exactly is it. And in many facets, they're doing through our medical, they're doing through our income tax, they're doing through our job, unemployment, and everything else. And it's going to keep up.
And the thing is, you don't know who is doing what. Just like I have this woman that emails me quite frequently, and she's from China, and she talks about how they've been attacking her nonstop with these frequency waves. She had to move, and she can't get away from it. And then there's another woman by the name of Eleanor White. She's been talking about it for years, and there's a lot of people that sit outside the White House complaining of the fact that they're being targeted by unknown individuals with these frequencies. And the thing is, in these games that they play through these alphabet soup agencies, if they get you in a level of sleep deprivation, to the level that you don't sleep and you are at the level where you go next day without sleep, Your body is in a REM mode. You're in the sleep pattern of REM, and that's when they can enter in information and thought. They can manipulate even me if they choose to. That because they know exactly what you do. They know where you buy things. They know where you go. They know where you go through the toll booth. They know everything you purchase. They know everything about you. They can download it into a artificial life form. That's how deep this stuff is. So if they know you, they know your sound frequency, they can penetrate that sound frequency and put thoughts in your mind and make you think. You could be talking to somebody and you might think they said something and they didn't even say it. Just to manipulate you to get you to do certain things they want you to do. And it's the same thing like John said, a hypnotist can do that. A hypnotist can wave something in front of you, and you'll be out, and you'll be jumping up and down, quacking like a goose, and doing whatever, because they know how to get to your rep. So why is it that we can't have the authorities understand that this stuff is real, and maybe they should look into it? Maybe it's more than just a man going berserk. Why would he go and work somewhere and just go berserk and just start killing people? There was no rhyme or reason for it. No rhyme or reason.
Well, another thing you don't know about Deanne, he's in a secure area that maybe he knows about 9/11. Maybe he knows a bunch of stuff that those people helped cover up or something. And maybe there was some "I'll stop it now" or something that added to it. I don't know. I can't honestly make that decision. But he was definitely in a know-all. Know a lot that most people would have a clue what's going on.
Well, okay, listen to this one. This is a good question. Now, you know how many people get shot and killed all over the country, right? Now, in the case of Christopher Donner out of California, why was it that, and who was it that put $1 million reward on his head? Now, you have this guy that killed a whole bunch of people, got a whole lot of people running around, you don't know where they are. They put $1 million on this LAPD police officer, another guy. Listen to this. Dahmer, where was he? He was an LAPD officer trained in the Navy. Where's this guy? He's in the Navy. 2 guys in the Navy. Why is that? I'm looking at parallel situations here. Dahmer had said that he had gone to his officials and people there to try to get them to understand that there was corruption in the police department. I found out that the police department was filled up with shellbacks. His commanding officer was a shellback. He went to him and told him what was going on, and he told him to stand down, and he didn't. And he went out and he went off because some crippled person was allegedly beaten by a female officer. That's the cover story. We don't know what's going on. We have no idea. But again, why is it somebody put $1 million reward on his head? It doesn't make any sense.
There's definitely something deeper going on, Deanne. I'm there with you. I'm still meditating on this whole situation because it's just, it's really like these high-level things that are going on that look like they're going to border into something that's even more broad. Of course, our rights are being deteriorated in that sense. But also, these are African American men that we're talking about. And that's not the normal. That's not the normal thing that people think of when they first hear these kinds of incidences. So I think that's something that needs to be looked at and addressed as well too. Like what's really going on? Are they trying to, entice the nation into a race war or what's, I don't know. There's just, what I was taught is that you cannot fathom the extent of the evil mind, and people that have intentions that are to hurt other people. And my mind just can't wrap around what the next step is because every time they come up with something, I'm like, wow.
Well, it's okay. Good example is you remember some years back when Bush was in the White House and they had the situation with that killer that was down in Virginia. And he was going around killing people with his young stepson. And they had him going around and shooting people, young black man, and he was out of Washington State. So anyway, I found out they were trying to make him a Muslim. That was the first thing. Oh, he was with the Nation of Islam, he's Muslim and this, that, and the other. That was the first thing they were pulling. Then it turns out he was in Washington, and he was doing some type of military training, I found out. But the thing I find that was very curious, that the person, one of the people they killed in that list of people, happened to be the woman that worked for the FBI unit that dealt with the internet. And she was the one that had the information that on Valerie Plame. You know, that Valerie Plame information that came out of the White House that shouldn't have been leaked, that caused all those people to get killed over there. I think she was the one that saw this and reported it. And she was the one that was killed in the shopping mall. And she worked for the FBI. Now, it wasn't interesting that she got murdered, and then he got picked up, and I think the son is still alive. I think they executed him. I'm not sure what happened to him. But the thing is, it's another one of those cover stories. Because it didn't make sense that they were saying he was traveling around doing all these killings. It didn't make any sense to me whatsoever.
Yeah.
And it didn't seem like he was an assassin for the government or anything. Now, the guy that's in Fort Hood, he said he was going to go after him. He was going to make a big testimony and stuff. And then all of a sudden he got dirt quiet, won't say a word. Nothing. Of the reason why he shot all those people.
It doesn't. Was he really the one, or was he the target? You know, that just keeps coming up in my head, that he was the target, and the target turned into the actual perpetrator.
Right, they target you. I had somebody following me out here, and was showing badges or something to the police department where they stood down. And that's the thing that angers me, is that you can't even go and report this stuff to law enforcement, because they're told at higher levels to stand down. And that's another thing, folks. You look at the police as people that are supposed to guard you. If the municipality writes in their language that they're there to guard the mayor, the city officials, the workers there, that's what they do. You pay your taxes, they guard them. It goes to the old system of jolly old England. It's kind of like you think about the kings and the knights of the round. A long time ago, everybody used to stay inside the castle barrier. Everybody was protected by the castle. And then one day the king says, let the people come out and let them multiply outside the castles. But he still has the control of those people. Those are his people, his minions, and also their slaves. So if they shot one of his deer or elk or did anything on his land, then they would be subjugated to the sheriff, which was the sheriff that was working for the king. Now, it doesn't matter if there was a situation they were starving to death. Doesn't matter if somebody did them wrong in the palace. They were always wrong, and they were subjugated to the law of the king, and the king controlled them, and they were no different than slaves. So what are we today? We don't have any enforcement of any law. We have any protection from microwaves or whatever the hell they want to shoot at us, through vehicles and stuff. They tell us that they have to have all this homeland security, but, again, these are military complexes. This makes us look stupid, really, to world governments. People can walk into a military complex with a gun, but yet, if we go to the airport, they got to check us out like we're thieves and we're getting ready to kill people. And why is that?
Yeah.
Why they got so much watching of the public when they're having things going on right in the military complexes? This is the second or third complex that we've had situations like this happen. So where's the security there? Why are they stepping up so much security at the airports when the action is going on in these military complexes? John, you want to say something on it?
And logic doesn't logic dictate that that's where the action should be? Is it within the military range? I mean, they're the ones at war, not the civilians. So, that, to me, that's more logical than just somebody going out, with the Boston bombing situation or the World Trade Center situation. To me, it sounds like if you're at war with somebody else, they attack you. You're military. So it's I don't know. So on one end, it's sort of a good thing and on the other hand, it's not a good thing. And why I say that is it's a good thing because someone does need to bring home the roosters to roast because these people have been out terrorizing people all over the planet, including here. And on the other hand, it's not good because I don't like black men to be held in a certain light because it's already a struggle for them as it is. Now, I don't want someone to think that someone that's normally peaceful or just is attacking their own people within their own community all of a sudden is now out doing mass things to just anybody. So that's why I said it's sort of double. But it's got me on an overload right now. I turned off my television. I only called in this evening because I saw you were talking about it, and I know you and John could have are adding insight to this. But it's gotten me to the point where I just need to meditate and hold on to my children and protect my household because, they do target you and John and others out here, gang stalking, electrical frequencies being aimed at your home and at your children. I myself have woken up with burn marks on my ear, and I'm like, well, why do I have a burn mark on my ear? I know that's probably a microwave attack, but, it is what it is.
Well, the thing what I would say is right now, I would watch this EMP wave thing that they're doing, wherever they're doing out here with this pulse. That's dangerous. And the pulse can affect you mentally. Like, for instance, I'm sick, and because of this pulse, it can cause you to have a stroke. It can cause you to have a heart attack, depending on what they're doing. It's a nuclear weapon that they're using, and they're designing it with a pulse and signature to do whatever they're doing. They're claiming they're doing this to curve space, to send things to Mars. But again, I don't know what they're doing. But I would say that the thing that people need to kind of monitor is that they need to watch their equipment in their homes. There's a possibility that lead may protect you. Because again, they tell people not to have lead paint in their homes and stuff. They pulled all that out. And that opens the door for this stuff because lead is the thing they use, in x-ray rooms and everything else. It contains these pulses. So, maybe somebody needs to have something and develop something with some lead in it to prevent some of these microwaves and things from entering our house. And then who knows what it's going to do, too, with readings the size. Like in Illinois, when I was in the hospital on Friday the 13th, they had a huge, 2 huge tornadoes come together in the middle of Lake Michigan, form over Lake Michigan, and they said that if it actually went down in the water, it could have caused something similar to a tsunami. Now, that was something unheard of, but it happened. Now, again, I'm not saying it's never been anything like that, but I think it was targeted. I think it's something they created, and they targeted, and they put it in Lake Michigan. I think they have the ability to do these things. So,
I talk about the deadly Bonnie or Avalon that they were talking about recently on the deadly brain-eating virus that was found in the drinking water.
Oh, no, I meant that somebody told me about that too. I don't know if John knows anything about it. But they said that I guess it was in New Orleans, some little girl was drinking water from a water fountain and it went up her nose. And she got some type of virus or microism that went into her brain that eats away your brain tissue. They said the water's okay, except for you can't, put it up your nose or anything. Now, how the heck, if it goes up your nose, and if you drink it, it's the same thing. So they're lying again.
Yeah, that's interesting.
So how, where did that come from? Is that from them putting those chemicals in the water over there for the BP oil spill? Or what they put in the water was something that was eating up all that oil. Now, there was red algae that's from Egypt, and that red algae from Egypt, I was going off about it because that's the same red algae they claimed was responsible for the plague of Egypt during Pharaoh's time. So is it a possibility that, this red algae or whatever they threw in the water to get rid of the oil spill was the thing that, is causing the situation with the this kid that got sick, and then how many other people are sick? They only mentioned one kid. Did you hear anything else about it?
No, I haven't. I haven't. I heard it and then I kept moving.
Yeah, well, and that scares the mess out of people.
I'm like, wow, the water. I mean, is that just a scare tactic? I mean, sometimes I think most of this has happened just to mess with our nerves and to keep us, unbalanced.
To keep you in your home. It's set up to keep you from moving around and keep you in your home. This way you are scared for your kids, so your kids don't go anywhere. You're boxed in. They have you locked into an invisible prison. Now, is it true that happened? I bet it did happen, but it probably was one incident, but it could be something bigger that they're lying about. Who knows? But it's serious enough that somebody needs to, talk a little bit more about it. I heard one report, and that's it. Did you hear anything else?
I haven't heard anything else, just that one report, and that was it. And it could be linked to the BP oil spill because, that they haven't talked about that at all. Like, it just disappeared,
I don't know, but I would, like I said, I would be listening to what's going on. You can't live your life in fear. You got to be able to move around. That's what they want us to do is, be, scared to do anything. And that's, how they'll win over on us. I believe that, wholeheartedly. But we're coming to the end of the show, and I thank you very much for calling in again. And
you're welcome.
And don't be panicky. Like I said, this stuff was.
Oh, I'm not panicky at all. Honestly, I'm just in a calm demeanor right now, just because I'm in a grocery store and on the phone with you. But I'm meditating on all of this, and I'm looking at it. But there's nothing that's going to stop me from living my life, because living life is what they want to stop anyway.
How old are your children, by the way?
My oldest is 21, and then I have a 17, 15, 13, and 9.
Oh, wow. That's a lot to worry about.
I came here. I came here to be in love and to be loved and to live life, and I'm not going to let them stop me or my children from doing that. But we just have to be aware of what's going on at the same time too.
Well, I thank you for calling in, and I hope you listen to the show again. And we're going to end the program. And do you want to say anything to the listeners before we go?
So me?
Yeah.
Oh, I think I just pretty much what I already said. Live your life. Be full of life. Be full of positive energy in life. Don't let nobody stop you from smiling and being happy. And keep focused. And also, it's okay to protect yourself and to want to, just to protect yourself. Most definitely, it's okay to have self-defense and things like that. That's part of living a peaceful, fun life as well. So that's all I really have to say. I'm not all about love. I have an edge too. So just because I'm a nice person doesn't mean you can just come up and slap me, and I'm not going to do anything.
Yeah. Got you on that one. Oh boy. But anyway, I thank you for calling in, and then we'll be back tomorrow on the DM Burley Show. Good night, everyone. Good night, John.
Good night. God bless everybody, and don't forget, do everything every day to help everybody. Good night.
Thank you for using Blog Talk Radio. Goodbye.